Hey groups, Dallas coming to you tonight, and just wanted to talk to you and kind of recap what we talked about this past weekend. I had the privilege of preaching, and I talked about insufficiency and how so many times we feel insufficient with who God's created us, and a lot of times that comes from comparing ourselves to others. And so I know for me, throughout my entire life, I've struggled with comparison, and it's so easy to compare everything that we're going through in life, whether it be comparing myself as a father, as a husband, comparing financial situations compared to other people, and then in ministry, it's so easy to compare, well, how's my ministry doing compared to somebody else's, or this past week was spring break, and it seemed like every one of my friends was at the beach, and here I am, not at the beach. And it's easy to compare yourself, and well, why are they in that situation? Why can't I be there? And why are they so having all these great opportunities and I'm not getting that? Or why are their kids so behaved and mine aren't? Or whatever the situation may be. And I feel like, as we go through this as Christians, we have to be careful that we do not compare ourselves. And I want to read to you a scripture that I read on Sunday during my message, and it says this in 2 Corinthians chapter 10. It says, "But they are only comparing themselves with each other, using themselves as the standard of measurement. How ignorant." And that's out of the New Living Translation. And basically what it's saying is our goal and our form of measurement should not be against each other's. God did not create us to compete with our neighbors, to compete with our family, to be, well, I got to be better than my brother. My parents are going to be more proud of him. And that's never what God created. You see, comparing ourselves makes us either feel superior or inferior. And neither honors God. If we're not careful, we can start comparing ourselves to say, well, look at how great I'm doing. Or we can compare ourselves, and it can make us feel worthless because maybe we don't measure up to whatever form of success we're using in that situation. And so I think for me, this is a struggle that I've dealt with in so many areas. And I would say that it's one of those areas that I keep coming back to, and I come back to it when I get my eyes off of God. When I start looking to the side and looking at what other people are doing, then it's so easy for me to start looking at, well, they're doing this and they're doing that. But God has called us to run our race, staying focused on what He's called us to do. You see, nobody can be better. Nobody can be you better than you. You are an amazing person. And I love the quote that says, "You were born an original, don't die a copy." Because unfortunately, what so many of us do is we get focused on somebody else. And we say, well, I want to be like them. And it's so understandable, and it's so great to get knowledge and to get wisdom and to learn from people and mentors in our life, and to begin to take and get grab the good things from different people in our life that we can learn from and grow and mature. But it's so easy, that line is so thin to go from, well, I'm just learning and getting better and grabbing this from this person, and then that line of saying, oh, I'm just trying to become this person. God has created you to be unique. Quit trying to be somebody else. And then the other statement that I said that I think was pretty powerful for me is, where comparison begins, contentment ends. You see, so many times we compare our situation to people that we think have it better than us. And in whatever situation, maybe you see somebody that is a good speaker and you're like, well, why can't I speak like that? Maybe somebody's just an amazing person at work and you're just like, well, why can't I have that skill? And why am I not good at that? And we begin to get into this comparison game. And then we're not content with the gifts that God has given us, with the things that God has given us. I was just joking recently with a friend, and I was talking about how we don't have a finished basement. And I'm so ready to finish this basement out. And, right now it doesn't have walls and it doesn't have a bathroom, and everything's, ready for that, but we don't have it. And I was like, I'm so ready for this. But then I was thinking about, we're taking the teenagers on a mission trip this summer. And think about what they're going to experience in Mexico when they get to see peoples that don't even have walls, that don't have windows, that maybe they don't even have plumbing in their home. And when I went on my first mission trip, it really broke me realizing how blessed I was compared to others. And so, again, we don't want to compare, but when we realize just how blessed we have it, you are so blessed. Every single person watching this video, we have it great. We need to quit comparing our lives to others that are better than us and feeling sorry for ourselves, because that's when contentment ends. So as you go into your group time tonight and you discuss some of the different questions, I challenge you. I think this is a message, and I asked to preach this message because it's definitely something that I deal with is comparing myself. So how and in what ways do you compare yourself? And in what ways are you using it to make yourself feel inferior or superior, and making yourself feel better about yourself? Or maybe it's just making you feel worse about yourself and you're not enough. And that's just not a good game to play. So hopefully you have a great time discussing the questions tonight. And I'm so excited that you're at your group. Have a great time. See ya.